Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, and it's not Josh. It's a better guest than Josh. It's Kruise from Paris Eternal. Say hello, Kruise.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So what we're going to do is get a pro's perspective on this whole Rework Mercy movement that's going on. But before we get that, Josh, give us a quick rundown as to the situation. Is that even possible with this?
A quick rundown. So a quick rundown of the situation is that a lot of people feel that Mercy isn't quite as engaging as she should be, perhaps. Sty and I have chatted about this a few times in the past, and we basically both agree that Mercy has an issue with feeling like she has a huge amount of power, a huge amount of impact in the game. It doesn't feel like she has those moments that a lot of other heroes have that make it feel like she's doing like something incredible. She basically doesn't have a play of the game moment, and as a result, a lot of people feel slightly burned by that, I suppose.
Yeah. So, Kruise, what do you think? I know this is a massive question, but what do you think about Mercy right now?
No, I agree with what you're saying about how she doesn't feel like she's got this like play of the game moment, which a lot of heroes have, like Lucio. Even like heroes like Lucio can do like a 3-man boop, right? Get play the game and it feels really good. But Mercy, I mean, actually whips her pistol out and goes on like a 3-kill streak, which doesn't really happen that often, and a lot of the time it's not even that good to do because you can get like team can die from lack of healing. But anyway, I don't know, with Mercy, I feel like she's just got a lot of small impactful moments, almost like small play the game moments, you know? Like when I'm playing Mercy, I don't feel like I have no impact. I feel like I'm almost controlling the game a lot. Like my heals and me going for clutch reses and stuff like that is like super game changing and can swing fights a lot. And it feels good in game. I don't feel like a lack of satisfaction from playing Mercy, which a lot of people are saying they do with like a current kit. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just people not using a kit correctly, or not understanding how powerful Mercy can be in certain situations, not knowing when to pull the pistol and go for Widowmaker, not knowing when to go in for like a crazy res, like calling a diva to come matrix you while you combine that. I don't know.
I think like a lot of it, I think probably comes, especially with the whole mass res thing, because people going on about like, yeah, bring mass res back and all of this. I think the reason for that is mass res did feel really good for the Mercy, right? Like when you just brought everybody back, it's like, oh yeah, that super powerful moment. Whereas she doesn't really have that now. But like you've just said, there are these little moments like in the game where she can have a lot of impact. I mean, res is still literally one of the best abilities in the game, and it always will be. But it's trying to get the res off. Now, obviously, Kruise, you play a lot in scrims, right? Most people don't, right? It's like we have to try and think about how this affects Mercy, like on the ladder. Like, how have you felt playing her, you know, at the level you play on the ladder? I know that I think I caught you like 3-stacking with Soon and somebody else, which that's not really fair, is it?
I've played Mercy solo queue, but like it's obviously harder than in scrims or if you're playing with a friend. But normally, like if I want to go for a res where I can't get it without the help of my team, I normally just go on the mic and yell like, "Diva, matrix me," and like I'm like yelling it, so like he can't not hear it. And he just sees this crazy Mercy flying in front of 4 of them and just go for the res, you know. So he either matrixes me or I die. But it's like I don't know. It's definitely harder. I definitely have like a nicer perspective of Mercy because I get the luxury of playing it in scrims or playing it with teammates that are good and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's hard. But I definitely don't think she needs a rework. I do think she needs a small buff, that's for sure. I think if she just gets a small healing buff, what does it run out? It's 50 per second, right?
Yeah.
The healing. If it's just, I think even just it being 60 would be perfect. I think. But
it is 60 during Valk, isn't it? Like, wasn't it 60 before, Josh? Then they brought it down to 50.
Yes, it was 60 before. They brought it down, and they brought it back up for Valkyrie. I mean, like, the stuff that Sty and I tend to talk about, one of the ideas Sty had, for example, is healing is, because Mercy is meant to be like this quote-unquote crisis healer, she's meant to be like this person who goes into war zones and helps people medically like that, that, you know, she could do more healing the lower people's hit points are, so like a percentage scaling. So if they're lower on health, you'll heal them more.
That'd be cool.
So that you can do like triage quicker and stuff like that. Like, is there anything that you would like to see added as opposed to Mercy's kit, or just tweaked with Mercy's kit to make her better that probably wouldn't break her in the pro meta? But honestly, don't worry too much about that. Just throw ideas at the wall and see what happens.
I don't know. That sounds really cool because a lot of the time, especially if you're like solo healing as Mercy, which used to be the meta, it's like you have to manage so many people that are low health, or you know, you're like putting like 5 teammates trying to heal the best target. So if like you could heal someone when they're lower, that would be a really interesting playstyle change, because you'd almost like let someone go lower, like a tank or something, while prioritizing the lower health pool people. I don't know. I think that could be really cool. But no, I'm not sure.
What about the reload stuff, Josh?
Yeah, so the other idea is the fact that basically when you have your staff out, you don't use the reload button, right? So they could do something cool with that. Like the idea of you hold reload and you charge up the staff and you get like a big burst of healing or something like that. And then it disables the staff for like a second or two. Like just give us something that, that play of the game moment, that idea that I've made the decision to like get my healing for a few seconds and then suddenly I can do something big and impactful, like a, Lucio amp it up almost. And it feels like, oh my God, I'm seeing the results straight away. Like, because I think the issue that a lot of people have, like you said, you have those res moments where you go and you get the res, but that still kind of feels like the team's moment. It doesn't feel like, sometimes I know I've watched you play in scrims. I know what you are like. I'm
resing.
It's like, I'm resing, and it is very much Kruise's moment, but I don't think the average Mercy player, unfortunately, his own voice comes shouting at the teammates, going, protect me, coming, where are you, Diva, what the hell? So, I don't, it would just be so nice to give those Mercy players those engaging moments, because, Sty and I willingly admit that I don't play Mercy. I play every support but Mercy.
Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just because you haven't got 1,000 hours on a hero, doesn't mean that you can't comment on the hero, right? Like, the issue, like, I've got with Mercy with playing her on ladder is, if I'm going to play Anna, if I'm going to play Lucio or Zen, or, God forbid, Brig, or even Moira, all those heroes have got something they can do which gives you a bit of spice. Like, Anna, you get that clutch nade off, you feel impactful, right? Mercy, a lot of the time, I'm sort of standing there healing, and I'm like, this is great. And then I might be looking around for my positioning or whatever, trying to look for other low targets where I need to heal. Maybe I need to damage boost somebody or whatever, or maybe I can res somebody. But I don't really have that same feeling of, like, I can go over there and do something really good, like, and it's not so much doing something good, but it's feeling like I've done something, like, yeah, come on Mercy, which she did have before when she had the crazy mass res. Which actually, Kruise, what do you think about mass res? I know what you're going to say to this, but go on, what do you think?
It's been so long. I didn't even play Mercy back in those days, but like it's been so long that I can't remember, but I can't remember too well how I was feeling. But one of those.
Hang on, you were playing Genji then? You were playing Genji then, right?
Yeah. It was nice having it, but like I don't know, like it's so depressing. Like you pop off, you kill the whole entire team, and then it's all brought back by 1 Q. It's like you could use like that's the biggest reason. That's the biggest reason it was removed, or like biggest reason at least I hated it. Like you could use Grav, you could use Genji ult, you could use 5 ults, or you could even use 6 ults. And then Mercy come along, press Q, her 1 ult would counter all your ults. Like you could play perfectly, use 3 ults perfectly, get a team wipe or 5 kills, and then Mercy comes along and presses Q, uses 1 ult, and then counters all your playmaking ability. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, but that made Mercy feel really good, right? So
yeah, it would make it feel amazing.
Oh yeah. But then she gets reworked, right? And then she comes in with the instant cast solo target res, which again was really good. And then of course we had the whole Mercy meta as a result of that. But you can see, like, from the Mercy player's perspective, where she has had like really high impact moments, and now she's got nothing, so she feels really.
Well, hold on, because I want to go back to this mass res thing, because I want to remind people what Mercy's gameplay was like in those mass res days, right? Because I spec and commentated a lot of games. Yeah, and the gameplay was literally hiding around corners and hiding in the friggin' spawn. So be careful what you wish for, because you're already complaining about being a little bit bored. Well, imagine just playing hide and go seek for about 40 seconds until everybody dies, and then you get your fun moment. But just be careful with that one.
For me personally, the thing that's most fun about Mercy, like people always come to me and say, like, you went from playing Genji to Mercy, what are you doing with your life? And they always like laugh at me. I'm like, no, I like playing Mercy, she's fun. But what the fun part of Mercy for me, and the bit where I get my satisfaction, at least in game, is the movement. Like this, it's unbelievably fun when you have a Genji, Tracer, or like, maybe in this meta a Diva and like whoever else chasing you down. And you're just juking them. You're just outplaying them so hard. You're like flying left to right, juking, dodging. It's almost like a different game. You're going from like shooting and like having great aim, and that's like your playmaking ability outside of an ult, right? Like a DPS player is looking to have great aim and outplay someone like that. But with Mercy, you're looking to outplay them with your movement, and it's so fun just juking and dodging left and right, hiding between walls, and then flying to a teammate and flying to a teammate, and just evading this Genji is going crazy trying to kill you with his blade or whatever. That's where like the fun's at for me. Managing that and then being able to heal at the same time is where like Mercy gets her impact. Just being able to stay alive and just dish out that healing.
So I suppose
go on, Josh. You go.
You've kind of already touched on it there, but I suppose the question I want to ask is, if you are a Mercy player who feels a little bit disappointed with how Mercy is right now, how do you go about stepping up your game? Like, what should they be looking to do? What should they be looking for to get that extra little bit of playmaking potential? Because I mean, you know, in the World Cup you are phenomenal. In the World Cup you are duking, like you said, like crazy. How do Mercy players start doing that? What should they be looking to do to start making themselves feel more active, I suppose, and get that satisfaction from duking crazy Genjis and Tracers and Winstons and Divas?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few cool techs in game that can help with juking. I mean, I'm sure most people know that when you shift and you press spacebar, when you get to the target, you go further. That's like the core like movement of Mercy, being able to fly so far by doing that. But there's cool techs where if you hold shift and control, and then as you're flying, you press space. It's like a tech where you can fly up in the air and go backwards. So you can, like, let's say Doomfist is gonna go on you. You do this tech and you fly up in the air and you just avoid him completely. Or if you want to get on a high ground and someone's not there, you're able to do that with Mercy, and it just makes her movement feel a lot more fluid. It's like there's like small techs like that which you can learn. I'm sure it'd be on like what's that Reddit called? There's like some educational compared like Overwatch Reddit.
Overwatch University.
Yeah, Overwatch University. There's always stuff like that on there for like Mercy or heroes in general. Like if everyone wants tips or heroes, that's like a good place. Like I even go there sometimes to look for like new rollouts and stuff like that.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, I mean, I still 100% agree with Mercy. Went from having 2 impactful metas where she had 2 crazy ults, and now she's got what feels like nothing really. She's just more of like a, she should like, well, I think what Blizzard are going for right now is instead of a crazy just like clutch healer, she's meant to be more of a consistent healer. But she's not doing that either right now, because at least for us in scrims when Mercy was meta, we'd play Mercy Zen, but we'd also play Brig for that extra healing because it didn't feel like enough sometimes. It didn't feel like we had enough sustain, so we'd have to have the Brig to help that, you know, and that felt good. But I don't know, I feel like if she just had slightly more healing, like even just 60, I feel like she'd be in a great place being like this consistent healer.
Well, I think that was one of the things we said, wasn't it, Josh? Like if you compare it to Moira and Anna, like she doesn't have the healing out, like she doesn't have the emergency healing, like, but using the word burst, I guess is right, but like she doesn't have that ability to, like, you stand there healing somebody and you see like your Ryan is dying. It's like, well, he's dying. I can't really do anything about this. Oh, he's dead. Like you need your team to come in and help you there. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes from, because the Anna player is going to throw the nade in, right? The Moira player is going to throw the orb and then start healing as well. So they've got that sort of, it almost feels like you can react to it. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like Mercy needs something a little bit like that to make her react. But like you just said, if they are going down the path of taking it on this sort of consistent healing route, then maybe it's just as simple as giving her a little bit more healing just on a heal.
But I mean, now that I think about it, like your idea of having the staff and pressing pressing R the reload or whatever button you're bound to, and having like it just be like a burst of healing would be so cool. I feel like that wouldn't even make it, if they balance it well, it would be completely fine. It's like you could even leave Mercy's healing how it is right now and literally just add that, and I feel like she'd be in a great spot. You know, like it would change the playstyle. You'd have that like impact feeling, or more so than you do right now, because you just see your Reinhardt go from, I don't know how you do it, like 100 health to like 400 health instantly, or however much the burst should be. I feel like that could be really cool, and
as long as they make it visually apparent that that's happening as well. Otherwise, you got another Brig heal in the game, and
like she needs wind up, doesn't she? Like a staff would have to start glowing or something, or she's like having a spaz going, the staff, then it bursts or something. I don't know. But like the thing with me is Mercy, right? Like you said, Kruise, she's great for moving around the map. Like in all of the early Mercy like cinematic stuff and whatever, she's like flying down onto battlefield, she's helping people and whatever. But in the game, she doesn't have any way of applying like emergency support to anyone. So while you're flying around and like Genji's chasing you, whatever, but you look down and you're like, oh look, Ryan's about to die or whatever, I need to get over there and help him. You fly over to him, you start healing him, and it's like, it's not really enough. But if you could somehow go in and give him like, I don't know, emergency support, to me that would feel a bit more interesting to play. I don't know. I mean, it might be ridiculously OP, who knows? When you start theory crafting new abilities for heroes, it can just get a bit wild.
It sounds cool though. It sounds really cool. Also, a big thing that's like not helping out the discussion, which I talked about on Twitter before, was it's literally just the meta makes 100 times worse. Like right now, realistically, if you're like staying by the meta, I don't know like, how ranked is in all elos, but like in my elo, it's goats almost all the time, and you can't play Mercy in the goats. It's just not the pick. It's just like if you have an equally skilled team on both sides, and one team has Mercy and the other team has like Lucio, like the team of Lucio is always gonna win. Like it's not even gonna be close. It's just the meta right now does not favor Mercy, so people are like, I guess, trying to run it in meta and not having that satisfaction. Especially like I remember like playing ranked, and during the Mercy meta and having a Winston dive on my Zen, and him just sit on the Zen, just chasing around, and I'm just out healing it. Like I could even when it was 60, like he could jump on him, my Zen could be like 10% health, and I would just out heal it, and it was the greatest feeling ever because Winston's committed, he's chasing Zen, I'm gonna get him, Zen's one, and I'm just sat there with my beam, just healing Winston up the whole entire time, and I'm sorry, healing Zen up the whole entire time, keeping him up, and it's like a great feeling. That's like you feel impactful there. But in this meta, you don't really get that because you're not in those situations. Because if you want to win and if you want to play by the meta, then you shouldn't really be playing Mercy, which is, I guess, another conversation.
I mean, that's always a conversation with Overwatch, though, isn't it? Like when you should be changing your heroes and whatnot. But yeah, like as for goats, like I mean, I've seen that it's played in low GM and it's played in mid master quite a bit. I mean, I guess the lower you go down, it probably isn't played as much. Although, to be fair, I get sent in so many clips for Overanalyze, and a lot of those, even in like Plat, you see people typing in chat, "Go goats, goats, goats." So I mean, people they know what 3-3 is. They're playing that quite a lot. But yeah, like the whole Rework Mercy thing. I think that just to wrap this video up is you sort of. Everybody has got their own opinion on this as to how it should be done, or even if it should be done in the first place. But I think it's a little bit misleading when it's called Rework Mercy, because I don't think she needs a rework. And we covered this, didn't we, Josh, in quite a bit of detail. But it's not like she needs a complete rework. It's like she just needs a little bit, I think, here and there. We really like the idea of doing something with reload when she's got a staff out, because, well, it's just an empty keybind. So if they could do something with that, maybe she's a bit more impactful. Or like you said, Kruise, if they just give her a little bit more healing, that might just be okay anyway. I don't know. Like, everybody's got their own idea, and that's a big issue. But just remember, guys, if somebody does give you their idea, don't just shoot them down like, oh, no, you're terrible. At least try and listen. That's sage life advice as well, that is.
There you go. Life lessons with Stylosa.
All right, Kruise, promote yourself. Ugh.
Oh.
Oof.
I only got one promote. Two. Just Twitter. What is it? Cruise.w. Twitter.com/Cruise.w and Twitch. I don't stream that often these days, but I try my best, especially when I'm in LA. I'll try. Just twitch.tv/Cruise. That's all. All
right, cool. Links are in the video description as well. And before you go, Kruise, how have you been finding the owl life so far?
It's nice. It's nice. Having the support of so many coaches. It's like you don't really get that in the tier 2 team. You know, like maybe you have one coach, or occasionally you get if you're an academy team, you'll get your owl coaches to come down. But it's so nice having so much support. You know, it's like, oh, is this play good? Like, and then you have like 3 people looking over it and like, yep, that's good. Or like, no, we should do it like this. It's super nice having that. It definitely helps you improve as a player.
Awesome. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa. You can, catch me on Twitter on @UnitLostGame and subscribe to the channel, click the bell and all of that. And Josh, hello.
Yeah, you know where to find me at @1_amongst many. There you go. Just find me there. All my stuff's on there. Beautiful.
All right, cool. Thanks for joining us, Kruise, and good luck in Season 2 of Overwatch League. It's going to be
Cheers.
spicy. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.
Bye.